The Moross smart light switches are a great addition to your smart home, especially if you're using Apple Home, and I'm going to tell you why. So let's take off this faceplate and show you underneath how these compare to a traditional light switch. In my case, I have panel switches, so these went perfect alongside my regular switches. And underneath, they are a bit different compared to the outside of them. They are made of this nice plastic material compared to the metal on the right side, which is kind of thin and flimsy. But overall, they're the same size. And the biggest difference that you can see from just looking at them is the fact that they do have that little light on the bottom, but that doesn't make them any different on fitting your current faceplates. So the sizing is the exact same. They fit into the same gang boxes that your regular panel switch would fit into. So you don't have to worry about making bigger holes or making any modifications to your existing wiring or the actual box itself. But overall, that little light on the front kind of gives it off that it's a smart light switch, and that's about it from the outside point of view. But the biggest difference when you're using it is the fact that a traditional switch has an up and down motion when you're turning the lights on or off, while on the Meross smart light switch, you only have one button. It's at the bottom towards the LED light, and that turns the light switch on or off depending on what it currently is. On the top right, you do have this nice unique ID code to be able to distinguish additional Moross switches from each other. And then you have the HomeKit code on the left, so you can pair it through the initial pairing process to add it to your home. But overall, there is no power cables going on the side of the switch. They're all in the back. And there is a manual line on the Meross site on how to install it if you have a neutral wire. On the bottom of the light switch, you do have this power button, which kind of power cycles the light switch. That way you don't have to go to your actual breaker and switch the power off for this thing, because keep in mind it is smart, so it may bug out sometimes and lose connectivity. I personally haven't had any issues, but they add that little button on the bottom so that in case that does happen, you can directly soft reset the light switch directly from it instead of going down to your breaker and finding the exact one that controls this light switch and creating an inconvenience for you. So I'm glad they did do that to have that option out there. But the Moross app is a great app also to control all of your Meross accessories. In my case, I have mostly light switches and a plug, but in this app, you can change the settings of the actual device, like that LED light on the bottom. You have 3 modes. You can make it a power indicator light, a night light, or you can just completely turn it off if it bothers you at night. In my case, I like using the night light mode because I can see where the switch is at night and I know which one I'm pressing based on the little light and how it's illuminated. And also if it's in your restroom, like how I have mine in my case, then you can know where the light switch is exactly, especially if you don't want to turn on the light fully. So it's a great little addition that they added a night light feature inside of the light switch, and it runs all the time regardless if the actual light bulb is running or not. So it's great, it's there, you can turn it off if you don't like it, but this is where you see all the information inside the Meross app for your current light switch. And you can manage your different devices and turn them on and off directly from this app. So that is an additional feature if you don't want to use HomeKit at all. But you might be asking, how can you use multiple of them? Well, in my case, in my bathroom, I have a 3 gang box, but one of them is not smart. As you can see, the far left one, which is less white than the remaining ones, which is interesting to me that I've never noticed that before. But my first one is for my vanity lights, which is the Meross smart light switch. And then my second one is for my shower lights. And what I can do with HomeKit and its automation feature is basically when someone clicks on the vanity light switch, it also turns on my shower lights because they're all in the same vicinity. And then also I have a Philips Hue light strip that's on the bottom of my bathroom cabinets, which is controlled all through this automation. So if someone turns on the first switch, it will turn on the second switch, plus my light strip that doesn't have a power button for itself. You actually physically have to unplug the switch, which is inconvenient, especially since my Philips Hue light strip is underneath my cabinets. So the automation allows me to also program it to where if someone clicks on the second smart light switch, then it would turn off the first one as well, which that is the biggest thing for me, because if a guest is using the restroom, for example, they don't leave any lights on because it doesn't matter which one they click, it will either turn all of them on or turn all of them off. And you can customize this in any way you would like and even add more accessories to this automation inside the Home app, but in my use case, I only have it for these two smart light switches. If I were to make my fan also in the bathroom smart, my very far left light switch, then I can control it where when someone leaves the bathroom and clicks on one of these switches, it would turn off all my lights, the light strip, and the fan. So it's endless in opportunities on how to control this with automation, depending on how many things you have in that room, and then also what kind of automations you want to set up. But in my case, I just felt it was a lot better for all the lights to come on since they were really close in proximity than having to switch on individual light switches and then also having to worry about turning every single one of them off. And there also wasn't a way for me to control my Philips Hue switch without getting a Philips Hue switch as well. So I just controlled the light strip from Philips Hue with the automation and not having to worry about it. But let's say you don't want to use HomeKit. You can also use the routines and scenes section of the Moross app, which is very convenient as well if you have multiple Meross accessories, since they do make quite a bit of them. But you would have to have all Meross enabled accessories for you to use this app, while with HomeKit, I can have multiple manufacturers make different of my smart home gadgets, and I can connect it all together with just automations. But here's the light strip that I was talking about earlier. You can see I can control it individually from the Home app, but then it also turns off with my other lights. So if I were to turn off the vanity lights in the app, it would turn off my shower lights and the light strip, just like how I want. So if someone were to click the button, it would turn off everything inside my bathroom. That is the greatest thing about automations and being able to program whatever your use case may be. And I can individually darken the light strip or make it brighter, even without controlling the remaining of my lights switches, because those are not dimmable. So this is a great thing about automations. If you like this quick review of the Meross light switches, then definitely give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Zanev Tech is out.